Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back here to the Wolterman Homestead and welcome back to the garden. Today's video is a fun one. It is a collaboration. It is the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was started by CJM Farms. I will leave information up in the iCloud and then down in the description so you guys can go check out his channel since he is kind of the mastermind behind this whole collaboration. We got tagged by Mary over at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, so I will leave some information about her channel as well, but she is also a small business owner and she sells seeds, so different varieties of seeds. She also sells seed starting kits and things like that. I know she was posting on Facebook earlier today that they are going to be having a pre-order of garlic, so if that's something you're interested in, be sure to check that out. But to get started on this collaboration is the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I feel like I should start with the bad. So come join me in the garden and see the bad parts of this year. So first off, we have this melon patch that we started. As you can see, we have something finally growing. And then we have something over here growing as well, but I think they might be the same thing, which I want to say it's either the Orangelo watermelon or Moon and Stars watermelon. I'll have to look at their tags and see. But that was very tricky this year. I don't know, for some reason, I just had a lot of trouble getting the seeds to germinate. So this project, I had lots of hope that we would be getting melons and things like that. So we'll just end up seeing if these produce or if it was just an experiment that didn't go as well this year, but we'll definitely try again next year. Another bad, it was really good. It was really good for a while, but we've lost this zucchini. I don't know if it was a vine borer or what got to it, but we did lose a zucchini. But while it was alive and doing really well, I think I ended up getting 4 zucchini off of it, and they were all pretty good size, but I'm also starting to wonder if we'll end up losing this one as well. But I didn't really care for zucchini, so I'm not sure if it's something that I will grow again, but it was definitely worth starting and giving it a try. And you know, it did produce for us, so that was really neat. It's always cool to grow things that you've never grown before. And then behind this zucchini, I have this tomato plant here. Now this is a yellow pear tomato, and I'm not going to eat this because I do not like tomatoes. I like tomato products, but not tomatoes. But this plant is, the variety is known to catch blight early, and so this tomato plant, for the most part, has met its demise. But I have gotten several of these little tomatoes. But as you can see, the leaves are not looking too hot. But I feel like for the most part that's kind of the bad. The strawberry planter hasn't done really well this year like it did last year, but I'm really starting to think that it's the soil that we used in it, and that we will just need to amend the soil and try again next year, because that, and I'm thinking about installing some sort of like water system, whether it's a terracotta pot in the middle that we fill with water, or a 2-liter filled with water and drill holes, just because it's above ground. It's above ground, and so it needs a lot of water, kind of being built the way that it is. I think I've got one more bad, actually. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it bad, but it wasn't what I'd wanted and it wasn't what I had hoped. Were these green bean plants. I'm not actually sure what they are. I don't know if I'm thinking it had been supposed to be the red kidney beans, but they are just green beans, and they are like bush beans. They don't climb, they just sit right there, because these green beans over here are what we grew last year, and they are trellising up. So what I see as the bad part is it's not trellising, because that's kind of why I planted it there. So it has kind of turned into, I don't want to say waste of space because we have green beans off of it, but it didn't turn out how I had hoped. So that's kind of the bad and the ugly. So let's check out the beautiful part and the good. The good, I would say the good is the rest of the garden. Other than those little things that I pointed out, the garden is thriving and it is doing really well. And it is beautiful. And we have beautiful things. Really pretty, beautiful things. Really great things. These sunflowers, the bees absolutely love. When we brought over the new chicken coop, that'll be a totally different video. There were bees like sleeping on these flowers. We were over here and there were bees all over it, and it was dark, so it was pretty neat to see all the bees out here on all of these. Another beautiful thing is the loofah is climbing and doing really well. And we actually have little growth. So that's really, really neat. We've got some tomatoes that are changing, and we have lots of green tomatoes. But all the mint and the herbs that we planted make the garden smell really, really good. Dylan's little pepper patch is just overflowing with peppers. Overflowing, and he has so many of these Hungarian wax peppers. Filled the entire dehydrator with them, and there's still more. The corn is doing really well, so hopefully here in a couple of weeks we'll be picking that and we will be having some corn. And then also I'm assuming it was in our cover crop, but we have some white icicle radishes that we're gonna save and let get bigger. But we've got one right here, and then there's another one right there. And then I think these, I'm trying to figure out, there, these little, this what looks to be a weed, I think those are more zinnias, are doing really well. Our elderberry plant is doing really well. So it's just really neat to sit in the garden and to try and pick what is the most beautiful and what is doing really well when it is overall doing really well. We pulled our potatoes and we got a big old basket. We actually filled a cooler full of potatoes because we didn't have a container big enough and sturdy enough, so we filled the cooler. The trellis that we have over here is doing incredibly well. This trellis is doing really well. This tomato plant right here is like as tall as I am, and it's full of green tomatoes. So it is just really cool. And we are really enjoying the garden this year. So now that you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of our garden, show us ours. So we, part of this collaboration is to tag a few channels. So we're gonna tag A Simple Life with Chris and Tara. They are from Missouri, and Copperhead Road Homestead. They are from Kentucky, so not too far from us. But both channels are really great and they put out some really neat content. So be sure to go check out their channels, and then also maybe do a search for the good, the bad, and the ugly collaboration and see what other channels you find and what their mistakes in gardening are this year and their successes. So thanks for joining us today here at the Wolterman Homestead.
And God bless.
Take care and God bless.
Yeah, I also got my hair done today. But yeah, you can probably notice that, but God bless.